Well, you know what, Mitch? We were talking about Disney making things canon and announcements. So let's talk about D23 coming at us this year.
Oh,
Disney sent out the press release August 9th, 10th, and 11th, 3 days of D23. They confirmed multiple times Marvel Studios announcements are being made here. We're going to be revealing the future of Marvel Studios here.
I am so excited to see Kevin Feige walk out on stage, sit on the edge, spark up a ciggy, and just be like, "Look, stuff ain't gone right."
Yeah, because with all the press releases, it was kind of a surprise how they're making this like its own con in a way.
Oh, 100%.
The guy,
this is what they've been building to, right?
Because I've seen it. Like they're not just doing the Anaheim Convention Center; it's spilling out into downtown Disney as well. Because as people who don't know, the Anaheim Convention Center is like across the street from Disneyland, so you can literally just walk across the street and go into Disneyland.
The one thing I took note of is like if you're looking at this thing, how they're selling tickets now and how they're having like vendors and stuff. This is that like Avengers con that was rumored, and Marvel Studios was even like, well, we might. This is straight up going to be the first year where they're kind of leaning into that. And if it's big, and it will be, because there's like front row tickets to watch the presentation for $2,000.
I was going to say it's a down payment for a month's rent in California, right?
For in the city, it's about right there.
Imagine.
And just
this is capitalism at its finest. Like,
to put this in perspective, D23 has its own merchandise. Like I was looking at official D23 2024 t-shirts that it claims that you were here, and I'm like, I know those are going to be expensive, but who in the right mind would want to buy them?
Bro, if you go to D23, like if you went a couple years ago and you go this year, if you get your hands on one of those exclusive Disney Lorcana cards, you can put a $8,000 down payment on any car you want easily by reselling that card. Disney knows what they're doing here, and this event is going to be big.
When that happened, that was crazy because I think there were advanced promo copies that you could only get at that event at that particular time.
Disney
stuff is
people go crazy for little pieces of cardboard.
Oh yeah. Just because it's like Disney and it's limited.
I mean, it's not even just the Disney thing. There was the Picasso Pikachu.
Oh yeah, I remember that
candle a couple of months back, and it just got scalped high.
Yeah, for that one, it was funny because it's not like a good card in any sense of the word. It's just that it was a Picasso Pikachu card, and I think it was relatively cheap, or you only had to pay for a ticket, and they gave
you just got in, got it.
And then people just started like asking people on the street, "I'll pay you some money if you give me the card." And that's when the museum said, "Yeah, we're not doing that anymore."
And like Disney has cultivated this fan base, and now they have Star Wars and Marvel announcements are coming. The thing that stands out to me is like they talk about this Marvel presentation, talking about the future, right? Kevin Feige is going to stand on stage. It's going to be the same as last time, but he's going to have to seriously acknowledge that literally at that point when D23 happens, 5 years and 2 weeks prior to that was the announcement of Blade and Armor Wars, and they're still not here.
So he needs to clear stuff up.
Yeah,
and I highly doubt he's going to do it in any satisfactory way, or even if he's going to anything. It doesn't seem like Feige's style to kind of do anything like that. But we've never been in this situation before with this studio and so maybe they do, maybe they don't. We'll just have to wait.
So do you think they're just gonna say, yeah, they're coming, but we'll save the actual announcement for a later date?
I think what he does is, this is how I can see Feige actually doing it. He's going to come out here, he's going to make some like offhanded snarky remark about how everything's gone. He's like, we've granted some few problems or something like that. And then he's just going to move ahead about, this is the update. This is the updated release schedule. Here's some new projects. Get hype about this one particular PNG because it's coming.
So I'm looking right now at the upcoming 26, 27, and 28 films, right? There's Untitled Star Wars in 27, Avengers Secret Wars. And then in 26, right, there is 1, 2, 3 untitled Marvel movies, and a bunch of untitled Star Wars and Pixar things. This is the blowout where you announced everything in 26 officially, the 27 slate, and possibly even 28, because you got to come out and be like, hey, Armor Wars is happening. Here's the date. Here's where we moved Secret Wars. Here's that unknown slate, right? Because there's so many missing projects and gaps. Like, this is where they're going to reveal the likes of Wonder Man, because outside of us, the normal population doesn't know that's a project.
Also,
right?
what's cancelled, right? If the whole rumors of cancelling is true, which I just said they've cancelled stuff quietly, what exactly has been cancelled? Obviously, if it is Eternals 2, God rest my heart, or God save my heart.
They wanted
they never announced it. They were working on it, but they never announced it. So did they even acknowledge that some stuff's been cancelled and stuff like that? Like, if they haven't announced anything that's been cancelled, like, do they actually still say we're not moving along with this plot line anymore? Which would be
they will acknowledge it in like some small reporter who actually continues to ask them in like some really small internet blog.
So
it'll be Steve Weintraub from Collider asking Mackie some dumbass question again.
I do want to point this out because this is what sticks out to me. About 3 weeks after D23 is fiscal quarter end for that. Like, that quarter ends, and that's when we're going to get the Disney report. Stock is going to skyrocket after D23. I think they stay silent on what's canceled. And then when Bob Iger does the update a couple weeks later, talking about how great stock is, and that's when they're like, we assess the situation of X, Y, and Z. Turns out Y doesn't really work, but these characters will return. As we just announced, there's plans. Don't worry about it. And it's going to be one of those double 1 month announcements, right? Like that span.
Do you guys think like they will take this opportunity to at least announce that, like officially announce that Spider-Man 4 is, on the table?
Yes.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Yep.
Here's the thing, right? They're going to stick to the big, we need to get people back on board and get excited. What they're going to talk about, they're going to tell you about the new Avengers. They're going to tell you about Spider-Man. They're going to talk about Fantastic Four. They're going to tell you when the first X-Men thing is coming.
They're going to announce, like when they announced Fantastic Four with the logo, we will get one more thing. It will be the first announcement of X-Men and that they hired writers or something in the logo, right? Spider-Man will be announced. And I think you're looking at a more...
They're also going to tell you who the new Wolverine's going to be.
Right, like a couple things
100%.
To really get people to chat about everything, right? Because they know the last 2 years have been their hardest. We're going to get our first look at Daredevil guaranteed. Poster, sizzle reel, something is happening. Like, they know, all eyes. Like, D23 is what's covered by, like, CNN, CNBC, Good Morning America, Fox local affiliates in like upstate New York cover the events. They know this is the world's eyes on Disney. So this has got to be the most strategically carefully placed like announcements and here's the future of Marvel they've ever done. They can't come out like they did when D23 when they did that presentation, announce a bunch of things that are all going to get canceled or not happen. They'll look foolish again. So it's going to be interesting. I'm definitely,
that's what else they got to tell us. There's the TV slate, right? Because we don't really know much anymore of what's going on with half of it. We know Agatha's coming out this year, I think. This year?
Yeah,
I know Winterbaum's talked about Ironheart recently, so we know that's coming at some point.
And then there's like Wonder Man and Daredevil, and that's
Wonder
it, right?
Man, yeah. Like apparently Vision Quest was one of the shows cancelled, so it was going on with that.
Heart. Damn. Yeah. I mean, I think they're gonna announce the new TV slate, and what we're gonna get is like, hey guys, guess what didn't work? $250 million Disney Plus series. So you're gonna get 40 to 50 million, 8 to 12 episode street level characters. Have at it. And that's fine. To me, that is fine.
I'm not sure if they go to street level or not. I think they just kind of dial the amount back, like the actual quantity of shows. Also, probably the budget a little bit, but I don't think they just segregate TV to street level. Because like, you look at stuff like One Division, that's not. Ironically, it's a street, but it's not a street level show, right?
So
it's a bit higher than that, even though. But it's.
I think we get into that position where it's like, hey, Daredevil, we're gonna do a Punisher series, maybe Heroes for Hire, huh? You guys like that? It's like
we're gonna have a crack at Defenders again without Sigourney Weaver taking the role of an Asian character.
You get the occasional boo into the stands, and if I can get them removed.
I think because there's the whole thing about the reason why the VFX is bad, quote, for these shows is because it's like the lack of a vision, right? Which isn't Dune being made for cheaper than these shows, and it's like, people saying it looks insane. So that level of VFX is obviously obtainable. It's just they need a clear, solid idea of what the show's going to be about. So if you have less shows, you have more time for each individual one, and therefore you can do it slightly cheaper, and the VFX is going to look better for it. I think that's how they're going to tackle it.
Yeah, because if you listen to the VFX teams, it was a hell show. You didn't want to be on the team working on all that stuff.
I mean, I always go back to the quality of after season 1. If you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., at their peak, their episodes were costing maximum of $2 million. But some of those visuals, THX was knocking it out of the park because they knew the vision. It was written far in advance. And they literally, if you watch some of those special features on the DVDs and stuff they revealed, they're like, okay, we got a sequence coming up with a Quinjet that ties into Age of Ultron. We have 6 months to work on this. And they work on it, and then they get the shots of the actors, they merge them. It looked on par with the films. And they lost that.
Not quite, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you get, like, for the Quinjet flying through the sky and breaking up, you're like, wow. Like, look at all those particles. And, like, it looked so good. And then, like, now you got the She-Hulk, and they're like, hey, we got 3 weeks to finish this episode, and we need to re-render the ending because we changed it. It's like, oh my God. Like, it's not attainable, like it's
I mean, Sony Animation would have you say otherwise. Let's add in the ending of this movie the week before it comes out.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's VFX artists need a bit of recognition from these people, because if you're going to rely on it more, you have to realize, like, if you're going to change some stuff, you're going to have to delay the movie. Otherwise, you're going to end up with slightly flat textures.
Right. No,
because I still stand by the CGI in She-Hulk isn't horrendous. Like, some things are flatter than others. Like, some scenes she looks vastly different, and some scenes she looks vastly better. But I still think for how it turned out, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
No, like, every shot of her close up looks phenomenal. But every foot she stands back, you lose textures, because they were doing that video game thing where if a character is further away, you use a lower quality model because it saves you rendering. And you can tell with She-Hulk, because it's like, if she's 10 feet from the camera, she has no, like, skin pores or anything. She's just a straight up green shade. And then she's straight up to the camera. You're like, oh, wow. I can see literally all the wrinkles and everything. Like, and then Hulk looks great in every scene he's in, because they were just using the model that they designed. So it's like, it was.
Then they had to cut the budget on the kid's hair.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Don't even mention him. Nightmares.
I genuinely forgot the name, and that's why I said the kid. Like, I sat there, my brain went, I have no idea what this kid's name is anymore.
Scar looked horrific.
That's the one.
Yeah. So.
I mean, even his face was like, I had this haircut because budget.
Yeah.